we are going to turn on to the Dhamma's qualities, great qualities. So we have finished discussing about the Buddha's great qualities. There are 9 great qualities of the Buddha. So let's go see the place where we left up in the sutta. Number 10 we done, Buddha's great qualities, and number 11 is about Dhamma's great quality. Now what is happening over here? No che mang anusareyatha atha dhammang anusareyatha swakhato bhagavata dhammo sandittiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko pacchatang veditabbu vinyuhiti dhammang hi vo bhikkhave anusaratang yang bhavissati bhayang va chambhitattang va lomahanso va so pahisati. Okay, now what is this part about? Now what the Buddha is saying is, if you don't if you don't recollect me, actually the way how we have to translate this is, if by recollecting, thinking about, reflecting about the 9 great qualities of the Buddha, but still you are facing fear, terror and all these negative things, even at that point, then you should reflect upon the qualities of the Dhamma. So there are always ways to do. Right? When one door is closed, another door is going to be open. Positive thinking. So when someone who is thinking about, reflecting about all these 9 great qualities, depending on that person's mindset, depending on that person's upbringing sometimes, the way of thinking, context, still the fear can continue. Not even a monk or someone is going to give a Dhamma talk. I think when understanding, when trying to take it to one's life, there are a couple other conditions that can affect your upbringing, family background, your environment, and how you have learned other things, similar Dhamma things, maybe knowledge. Many things can affect. It's not that someone come and give a talk and you always have to get the same benefit just as one person, A and B, should get the same thing. It's like that you plant two people plant 2 trees next to each other. But after some time, the B finds out A's plant is going well. I also planted with you at the same place. Same place means around the area. But your plant is going very well. What happened to mine? Because mine gets more sunlight than you. Can you change that? The area that I planted has good, soil, right? And maybe I'm always going to give metta to my plant. Hey, grow faster, So it works well. I think it's an experiment too, right? When you curse a plant, the plant can not grow. When you talk very nicely to the plant, it feels good. Right? So there are things happening, not that everyone is getting the ripple effect of same thing, that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, everybody gets the same thing. Now don't worry, then I think we are exclusive. Don't think that you are exclusive. You are inclusive in the Dhamma discussion, Sutta discussion, but the way how it is going to affect and help can be different from one to one. Right? So in the same way, sometimes when some people reflect upon the Buddha's great qualities, everything will be, all the fears will be taken away by that reflection. All the terrors, horripilations, other things, goosebumps will be taken away by that power. But some others, they still don't get anything. Yeah, try, but don't get anything. Then they have to go to Dhamma's great qualities. Now don't misunderstand, that means Dhamma is for those people who are more struggling than you in your spiritual things. Now, when I say this thing, somebody might misunderstand. That means someone who has to reflect Dhamma is someone who cannot get the benefit out of the Buddha. Right? That's why he or she has to go to Dhamma's reflection. No. What I'm saying is that all these three are equally important. But when it comes to overcoming fear, terror, these negative issues, some people don't need to go that far. It is not the problem of Buddha Dhamma Sangha, it is the problem of your personal spiritual life. We all have our own spiritual life. So that is the issue that we have to understand with regard to why some people have to go to Dhamma. So today we are going to learn, there are six great qualities of the Dhamma. Now let's say there is someone who has not been benefited by the Buddha's great qualities, still need to work on the second triple gem called Dhamma. So then that person now has to slowly, gradually understand these qualities. Today we are going to learn three great qualities, as you can see. Dhamma's great qualities 1 to 3. Today we are going to learn something very interesting about the Dhamma, because this is about the Dhamma. What is the meaning of Dhamma? There are various contextual interpretations of the term. I think we have discussed that some time ago, but I think it's good to do a refresher again. What is the meaning of Dhamma? D capital, uppercase, D-H-A-M-M-A, Dhamma. Dhamma has multiple meanings. The second part is various contextual. Yes, there are. So, the first meaning interpretation is Dhamma means teaching of. Who's teaching? Anybody's teaching. You cannot say Buddha's teaching, because Dharma, D-H, Dharma is a Sanskrit word. In Sanskrit there are lots of didactic, we call didactic, advisory kind of text in Sanskrit. Classical Sanskrit, classical Hinduism, not post-classical Hinduism. You mean Veda, Brahmana, Aranya, Upanishad, especially Vedas. Very, very old. 1,500 years before the Buddha's time. Buddha was living in the 6 BC, 6 centuries before Jesus Christ. But then the Vedas, their time dates back to 1,500 years. That means long time ago. So the Sanskrit word Dharma means D-H-A-R-M-A. This word has been there. So it was initially alluded to the teaching of anybody, teaching of the God, teaching of the Maha Brahma, teaching of many gods, teaching of anybody, right? Now there is a book called Bhagavad Gita, right? In Sanskrit, it's called it's like the Dhammapada to the Hindus, like our Dhammapada, right? Dhammapada is very interesting, but for Hindus, they say their book is codex, manual is Bhagavad Gita. And there is another book called Manusmriti. Manusmriti. This is for additional knowledge, just to explain the Dhamma. This book is very interesting. They say all the humans started from somebody called Manu, M-A-N-U. Manu. M-A-N-U. Manu is the first human. This book has very interesting stuff. They say in a place, you don't need to eat meat, you have to be vegetarian. But in case you have a craving for meat, then you can replicate that animal as a bakery product. Let's say you're going to create a crocodile in a bakery pastry product and you can eat it. But don't eat the actual crocodile. Don't eat the actual animal. in this Manusmriti book. But the problem in Buddhism is it's not about the animal, it's about your mind that you are eating. Buddhism goes back to the mind. Right? Even you eat a vegetarian food which has a chicken shape, but you are eating, I'm eating chicken, the flavor. You're creating the problem. Right? It's your craving in your mind. Right? It's not just the animal, the fish. So anyways, Dharma is a very common term. It's about teaching of anybody. So we can say Dharma of the Jesus Christ. Dharma. Dharma of the Maha. And Dharma of Islam. Teaching of anybody. But here, the Pali word Buddha uses Dhamma. So we understand it in the Buddha's own way. Dhamma of the Buddha. What are the other interpretations of the Dhamma? Experience. Okay, now you should tell me how we have to understand it. Because there are a lot of newcomers, then Dhamma. So this is the Pali word we just talked about. This means teaching. Teaching. So we have no problem with this Pali term. It's okay. But now what are the other contexts, interpretations of Dhamma? And you said experience. How do we write that Dhamma? D simple. We call it normally Dhamma. Because an experience is a amalgamation of many other things. Where do we find Dhamma as an experience in the Pali text? Where do you find this? In order for you to say that this lowercase d and Dhamma is plural, Dhamma, this denotes Dhammapada. Yeah, where do you see in the Dhammapada? Mano Pubbangama Dhamma. I don't know whether how many of you know that. The Buddha said in the first Dhammapada stanza, all our experiences are preceded by the mind. But actually the real word is thoughts. Because mind is just a place. Thoughts are the thing that we are going to transform. Mind is just mind. It's an English word. It's just a place where thoughts are going to play, activate. That's why Buddha said always, it's not mano. He's not worried about mano. He's worried about chitta. Chitta vagga, chitta anupassana, chitta. Chitta is the one that we have to take care. Then why people take mind as the thought? Because they are affected by the English context. In English, there is only one mind, right? My mind is like this. My mind is a blank now, right? It's blank. So, I don't know whether some of you understand. In Buddhism, we are not worried about, Buddha is not worried about the mind. Buddha is worried about the thoughts that are working inside the mind. Because mind, you can't do anything. It's just a physical organ. Physical place. Actually, you can't say physical place. It's a place. Because Buddha does not locate it. It's a place. It can be anywhere in the body. It goes. It works. So Buddha is worried about chittas. Now, mano pubbangama dhamma, all the thoughts that are happening inside the mind are precede, especially experiences. They are preceded by the thoughts that are happening in the mind. So better we take thoughts more seriously than the mind. Then, still it's not clear. Dhamma. We have to now analyze this. Dhamma. How to analyze this? How does this part become a Dhamma under that particular line? Mano Pubbangama Dhamma. Buddha said, our experience, every experience consists of three things. Sanya, Vedana, and Sankhara. In Buddhism, every experience, good experience, bad experience, good and bad experience, they all consist of these three. They must include these three. These three are preceded by the thoughts in the mind. Now think about a good experience. We will start from the gentle way of training, which we've been studying. Sanhena Buddha's gentle way. Let's talk about a good experience, happy experience. Tell me one happy experience that you had today, maybe today. Being able to come to the Sutta class is a happy experience. Today you could make it. Then find out these three parts in that experience. Sanya. Where is the sanya of that experience? You have been coming to the Sutta class before, so you know what is happening in the Sutta class. You know this is helping me in the long run. Those sanyas, memories, perceptions, memories. Then how do we understand the Vedana part of that experience, coming to the Sutta class as a happy experience? The feeling you have before coming, feeling you have during the time, feeling after you go home today. That feeling part. Sankhara part, ethical part. Every experience which has Sanya Vedana must create a Sankhara. Sankhara means karma. Karma. Now, about the Sutta, with regard to the Sutta class, definitely you are thinking very skillfully, with wholesome thoughts. Then you are creating karmas. Now, this is the experience. So, these three are preceded by the thoughts in the mind. So, these three are, when we say, I have Sanya, I have Vedana, I have, what are you talking? Somebody might think, what are you talking? No, I have an experience today. I have a good experience today. Can you explain to me in the Dhamma way? Yeah, I have Sanya, Vedana, Sankhara. But when someone asks you, how was the class, how was your day today? Yeah, I had some Sanya, I had some Vedana. What are you talking? It's really complicating my mind. Right? I had Dhamma, good experience. Let's take a bad experience. Somebody scolded you today. Someone who was very next to you. You never expect this happens. Suddenly it was a thing that happened. It became a reality. And then that experience is a bad experience. It has, now there is a sort of memory now. This person does not scold me, but today it happened. So you kept it as a memory. Then feeling, every time you think about it, you feel not happy, kind of a weight, not light. The feeling is very heavy. Then when you are looking at that experience, because you are not happy, every time you are not happy, that means you have a conflict, you have dosa towards that experience. Sometimes you have no dosa to the person, you have dosa to the experience, bad experience. Right? It's a dosa. Even when we cry about things that happen, somebody passed away, we don't accept that particular thing. Even on one side we accept, on the other side we don't accept. So, creating karma in that body. So, one of the meanings of Dhamma is Dhamma experience. Now, you understood two meanings of Dhamma. Other meanings are universal truth. Universal truth. Actually, this is a synonym to this part, Buddha's teaching. Because Buddha talks about the universal truth. The Buddha says, even I am here, even I passed away, the Dhamma, the truth, exists, prevails. Universal truth. Then, are there other meanings? Yeah? Noble? Yeah, it is this one. It's implied. If it is universal, it must be the Four Noble Truths. It's implied here. Now we talk about three meanings. Are there any other meanings? Huh? Phenomena. Okay. Phenomena. Actually, phenomena are also part of this. How do we know phenomena? Now we know our eyes take sights, ears take sounds, then nose takes smell, then tongue takes taste, body takes touch, mind takes thoughts. Those thoughts are the experiences. Now, I think I already explained to you a couple of weeks ago, when you sleep time, what is happening to your mind? What is happening to your mind when you are sleeping? Is your mind also sleeping? Huh? Is it also sleeping? The Buddha says, when we go to bed, then we are not taking external objects, but the objects we have been taking during the day can replay consciously or unconsciously. So they can replay consciously at the time we are having dreams. It can replay unconsciously at the time we don't know. But thoughts, mind, they cannot die. They cannot be stopped. They are existing. Right? It's like the breath. We sleep, but the breath still works. Right? We are still breathing. Some people only say this when other people are not really concerned about it. How are you? What do you think? I'm still breathing. You never care about me. Asking me, how are you? I'm still breathing. So, the understanding here is that it's like the breath. We are breathing, but we are sleeping. Thinking is happening consciously or unconsciously, but we are sleeping. So, phenomena, experiences are happening when we are really not sleeping, but experiences that have happened as phenomena, they are going to work passively, not actively, passively at night. Passively. Okay. Are there any other meanings? So then understand, experience, phenomena, they are in the similar context. And universal truth and noble eightfold path, similar context. Don't need to make it wider and larger. Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. Yeah, those are the experiences. Because we take Dhamma as ours. It's not the Buddha's teaching. Sabbe Dhamma Anattati means, now say for instance these experiences, when we enjoy good experiences too much or bad experiences too much, then we think they are ours. They are mine. It is me who suffered. It is me who enjoyed. Because people cannot go to the anatta. People cannot deconstruct. People think it is mine. They are mine. The Buddha said, no, they are anatta. They are not yours. It happened. They are causes and conditions. They are causes. Then they happen. Now, due to different conditions, they might happen, they might not happen. So Sabbe Dhamma, at that point Dhamma means, this one, Sabbe Dhamma. This context. Sabbe Dhamma anattati yada panyaya passati ata nibbindati dukke esamaggo visuddhiya. Sabbe sankhara dukkhati. Right? Sabbe sankhara anicchati. All these are actually about wisdom. How to create wisdom. Anyways, are there any other meanings? What is it? Moral conduct. Moral conduct. Yeah, we can take it. Yes. That means practice. Practice. My practice. You can take it. My practice, which has moral conduct, sila, samadhi, panya, all that. Some people's practice is only sila. They die also with sila. They haven't developed until samadhi. And then some people die only with sila and samadhi, no panya. There was one elderly man who approached the Buddha, said to Buddha, Bhante, I'm really worried about my practice now. Then the Buddha asked why. I'm very old. Things are hanging and then I can't see. I cannot get up. I need people and others to help me. So I really worry about how to practice sila and samadhi. Then Buddha said, don't worry. How about panya? Yeah, I can do it. Then you are okay. Now don't think that sila samadhi are not important. But panya is the most important one. Because why we start with sila and practice samadhi? Because we want panya. But some people, they start with sila, die with sila. All the life they are practicing precepts, and then pass away with the precepts. No samadhi. Some people barely make it to samadhi. Real samadhi, samma samadhi. And mostly those who make it to samadhi, they can go to panya. So the Buddha said, these three are equally important. They are equally important. Right? So, practice. Are there other meanings? There are two other meanings. I have to cover other things, so I'm going to. Cosmic law. This is also Dhamma. Dhamma as a cosmic law. Dhamma niyama. Why are there tsunamis happening? Is it because of the God or the Deva? Why are the volcanic mountains are erupting time to time? Why are these things happening? Is it because of the Buddha? Is it because of another teacher? Is it because of somebody's problem? No. It is because of the cosmic law. Dhammanya. And the sixth meaning is, we call it innate quality. What does it mean? We call it in another word called sabhava. Innate quality. What is the Dhamma of my life? I was born, I am going to live, I will be sick, I will pass away. Why is it? Because that is the nature of my life. Because I am a production of sankhara. So innate quality. Innate quality means the innate quality. Intrinsic quality. We call it intrinsic quality. Intrinsic quality means if you dissect anything into the minute, the nuclear level. Scientists don't have a agreement about nuclear stuff. They still say there are more things even smaller than the nuclear stuff. They're still making the things. But the Abhidhamma says, no, there are 8 things. You can dissect until 8 things. They call it pure octet. Patavi, Apo, Tejo. Don't worry about these Pali terms. I just have to make a explanation after that. Apo Tejo Vayu, Vanna, Gandha, Rasa, Oja. They say if we dissect any thing, any material or immaterial thing, the only level that we can dissect them is only these 8 levels. There is a solid nature of that item, there is a watery level of that item, there is a temperature, there is a motion, certain air motion, and there is a color, there is a smell, and there is a taste, and there is a nutriment quality. Now this is Abhidhamma teaching, don't worry. Abhidhamma. I don't see. The Abhidhamma people, they want to go to the bottom of everything. Sometimes they make sense, sometimes it feel like little awkward. So that's why I'm not picking up lots of Abhidhamma things. I only want to go to early Buddhism, just to say what. But Buddha said only these 4. The rest of the 4 are the Abhidhamma teaching. So, but the innate quality, that means Dhamma as an innate, intrinsic quality, is something Buddha said. Buddha always says, Dhamma of life is rebirth, aging, getting sick, and the death, and the rebirth. It's a nature. Right? Why our grandparent passed away? Is it because of our problem? Yeah, maybe. Now somebody was asking a question long time ago in one of my classes. I still worry about something. She said, it's about me bringing my mother to the government hospital. When I could not afford her taking to the private hospital. And I think she passed away because I brought her to the government hospital. I worry about it. Right? So that means time, date, and how these things will be dependent upon different people. But the death is a natural phenomenon. It is the innate quality of us. Why people are changing sometimes? A good person can become a terrible, bad person sometimes. Have you experienced that? Why is it? Why is it? It is because of the Dhamma. Because people are changing. Right? Unless they enter the noble path, they can change. So let's say when someone is changing time to time, you feel very uncomfortable. Always think about this interpretation of Dhamma. Yeah, it is Dhamma, so I don't have to worry about it. Huh? Yes. People today morning, that person good, but by afternoon they are not good. Again by the evening they are good. Tomorrow morning again go back to become like a sociopath, something like that. So it's okay. We accept it because it's the innate quality, innate Dhamma. It is the Dhamma, nature. But what about the black and white people? You can't change like that, You can't be changed. You have to be that person. Otherwise, I'm not going to stay with you. So people who don't understand Dhamma as the innate quality, they are trying to struggle between the black and white thinking. The Buddha said, no, there is a gray area of everything, right? So it's a very broad explanation. There are many more, but I just stop at this point because just to minimize our time. There are a lot of things to learn. Okay. This is the main meaning, and then experience of phenomena, then as a universal truth, as the practice, and then cosmic law, and then intrinsic quality. If you have any questions, please save the questions to ask later. What was the state of Dhamma before the Buddha's emergence? What happened to the Dhamma before the Buddha? Buddha started his Dhamma talks. What was the nature? Were people barbarian people at that time? They were killing each other, they were harming each other. What was the Dhamma at that time, before the Buddha became the Buddha? Was there any good practice moral practices before the Buddha's time? There were, right? See, there were 6 teachers. And even Prince Siddhartha saw a monk, right? And he was happy about that monk, right? But what happened to the true Dhamma, the Four Noble Truths teaching before his emergence? In order to understand that, we can go to this sutta, Nagara Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya is 12.65. This sutta is about something very interesting. The Buddha tells the story of how his awakening, enlightenment came about through investigation into the Paticca Samuppada. He compares it to a man discovering an ancient city lost and overgrown with weeds. Buddha never said that this is his innovation. Right? So, Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching that I am going to teach you the Four Noble Truths and you need to follow the Noble Eightfold Path. He never said this is an innovation. He always said this was already there, but it was buried. It was buried. I found it out. I revealed to you. It's like a buried city. Yeah? Even in this country, sometimes there are people who are finding buried cities, Buddhist cities sometimes. Right? Buried city. It was not an innovation, but he refound it. So then the state of the Dhamma before the Buddha's emergence is not like a rocket science. It's something, it was there, but the Noble Truth teaching was not discovered. But it was discovered by the previous Buddhas. How many Buddhas were there before the Shakyamuni Buddha? 28, including the Shakyamuni Buddha. Tannankara, Medankara, then Saranankara, Deepankara. There's a Pali chanting for that. Huh? Is there a Pali chanting for the 28 Buddhas? Do you chant that sutta? If you don't chant, you don't get the 28 Buddha blessings. You only get the Gautama Buddha's blessings. Tannankaro Mahaviro, Medankaro Mahayaso, Saranankaro Lokahito, Deepankaro Jutindaro, Kondanyo Janapamokko, Mangalo Purisasabo, so and so forth. At the end of this sutta, there is something interesting happening. What is it? It is said that Kakusando Konagapano, Kasapu, and Gotamo, Sakke Pongabu. Tesang Sachena Silena Kantimetta Balenicha. By the power of all the Buddhas mentioned before, their sila, Kanti means their patience. Metta means their loving kindness. May you be well and happy. So then the monks, they are going to give you the blessings of all these 28 Buddhas. Something to learn about actually, these Buddhas. So Noble Eightfold Path was rediscovered. So Dhamma means that. Why did the Buddha initially hesitate to teach or share the Dhamma after his enlightenment? There's a statement for that. Do you know that when the Buddha was going to teach, he was a little bit reluctant? It is said that he is reluctant. Somebody might think, how come he is reluctant? He knows what to do. Why he is saying that he is reluctant? Did the monks make it like that? Just to give some motivation. Let's see how it was given in the Vinaya Pitaka. Number 5. This is going to be Mahavaggapali, Mahakandaka. Let's go to the 5th section. After 7 days, the Buddha came out from that stillness meditation, went from the flower tree to this banyan tree, and he stayed there. Then while reflecting in private, the Buddha thought this: I have discovered this profound truth, so hard to see, so hard to comprehend. It is peaceful and sublime, subtle beyond the intellect, and knowable only to the wise. But human beings delight in holding on, find pleasure in holding on, rejoicing in holding on. And because of that, it is hard for them to see causal relationships, patisamuppada. This too is very hard for them to see. The stilling of all intentional activities, sankharas, the giving up of all ownership, the stopping of craving, fading away, ending, extinguishment, nibbana. If I were to teach this Dhamma, Noble Eightfold Path or Four Noble Truths, others would not understand, and that would be wearing and troublesome for me. This is what the Vinaya Pitaka says. Okay. And spontaneously, these verses never heard before occurred to the Buddha. This is a stanza. What I have discovered with difficulty, there is no point in making it known. For those overcome by sensual desire and ill will, this truth is hard to understand. Okay. Then what happened? When the Buddha reflected like this, he inclined to inactivity, not to teaching. Is it a good idea for Buddha to be a little bit passive about his teaching, not become active? It's not a good idea. But just when the Supreme Brahma Sahampati read the mind of the Buddha, he thought the world is lost, it is perished, for the Buddha, perfected, fully awakened, inclines to inaction, not to teaching. That means now Buddha is having some tina midda. No. Buddha is becoming lazy. Only Sahampati Mahabrahma saw this. Now he wanted to come and talk to the Buddha. Bhante, don't become lazy. Right? Let's see what is happening. Then just as a strong man might bend or stretch his arm, Sahampati Brahma disappeared from the world of the Brahmas, appeared in front of the Buddha. He arranged his upper robe over one shoulder. That means Mahabrahma also wears robes. Better give offer some robes to him too. Place his right knee on the ground, raise his joint palm, said, "Please teach, sir, please teach." There are beings with little dust in their eyes who are ruined because of not hearing the teaching. There will be those who understand. Okay. One thing that we need to understand about this part of the Vinaya Pitaka is that perhaps we don't understand this story very well from a literal point of view. Because later on Buddha is, things that the Buddha is talking, Buddha says, I tell you what you can do. Humans can end dukkha. For someone who is like that, how come he could not trace that at the beginning? It is a practical issue. Probably Buddha was expecting someone to give an invitation. Definitely is way higher than the Mahabrahma in his wisdom. Like in Sri Lanka, if you go to Sri Lanka, if you go for a Sinhalese, regular Dhamma talk, the monk is waiting until people bring a tray of beetles and areca nuts and offer, and then ask, Bhante, please give a Dhamma talk. Otherwise, they won't start the Dhamma talk. Right? Not like us today. We come and give Dhamma talk and go, right? Waiting, You must invite with a tray of betel nuts, areca nuts, and all these, things. Maybe it is just to give a certain respect for the Dhamma talk. Probably. Not very essential. From the audience perspective, maybe then audience understand, okay, we are invited. It's like a Vassa invitation. Why devotees have to come to a temple and invite monks? They know they have to take Vassa, right? Why they have to come? Right? Why they are inviting with all these, the same trays, trays of towels, toothpaste, brush, and some other robes. Why? They don't have to. Because monks, anyways, they have to do it. Probably just to respectfully do an invitation. Right? So not all the monks are getting this invitation. There are many monks who are living in very, very poor places. Sometimes they don't get to have some dana. Right? So they are taking their own vasa. So probably Buddha was expecting an invitation. But for us to believe that Buddha was not understanding about his audience, that's a serious error in the transmission. So we have to understand there are certain things that we have to look at it differently. I'm not saying that this is wrong, but we have to think how this could have happened. Either we don't understand the literal way, or senior Sangha members made it in a way how to respectfully invite by the Sahampati Mahabhagma. Number 4, why is the Buddha's Dhamma not considered a divine revelation? Very interesting. If you look at all the Abrahamic religions, XYZ, yeah? I don't want to name them, XYZ religions, they always say, this particular teaching was told to me by a certain God. It's a divine revelation, and I am telling you, in every religion this happens, right? So why Buddha's Dhamma is not a divine revelation? Why it was a certain self-enlightenment that nobody told him? Let's see. The Buddha's Dhamma transcends both revelation and legendary speculation with theological implication. Instead, it represents the enduring truth that prevails throughout the universe, a unique discovery by the Buddha. I think we had to add unique rediscovery by the Buddha. Unique rediscovery. It was there before the Buddha. Kassapa Buddha, Konagamana Buddha, they all followed the same thing. I would like to discuss Kalama Sutta for that, because we can really understand this part with Kalama Sutta. There is no Kalama Sutta. The sutta's name is Kesa Mutti Sutta. Kalama Sutta was a given name. See. At one time, Buddha was wandering in the land of Kosalans together with a large Sangha, Bhikkhu Sangha, when he arrived at a town of Kalamas named Kesamutta. Then Kalamas heard. It seems that ascetic Gautama, who come from Sakyan family, arrived at Kesamutta, their place, city, village. He has this good reputation. Itipiso Bhagavarahan Samma Sambuddho. It's good to see such perfected ones. So they are very impressed about the Buddha's arrival. Then the Kalamas went up to the Buddha. Before sitting down to one side, some bowed, some exchanged greetings and polite conversation. Some held up their joint palm towards the Buddha. Some announced their name and clan, while some kept silent. Very different people. Huh? Some bowed down, some exchanged some greetings, some used some polite words, some joined palms together. Some said their names and clans. Probably they don't want to respect. And some just kept silent. Seated to one side, Kalama said to the Buddha. This is very interesting. There are Buddha, some ascetics and Brahmins who come to our village, Kesamutta. They explain and promote only their own Dhamma doctrine, while they attack, badmouth, disparage, and smear the doctrines of others. Right? Then some other ascetics and Brahmins come to Kesamutta. They too explain and promote only their own Dhamma, while they attack, badmouth, disparage, and smear the doctrine of others. So we are very doubtful and uncertain. I wonder who of these respected teachers, I say teachers, speak the truth and who speaks the falsehood, wrong things. Okay. It is enough, Kalamas, for you to be doubting and uncertain. Doubt has come up in you about an uncertain matter. Then this is what the Buddha said. Please, Kalamas, don't go by oral transmission. Now all the Sutta, Vinaya, Abhidhamma, they all come to us by oral transmission. Were there books in India? No, there were no Dhamma books. These Dhamma teachings which have come down to us orally, and they were written on palm leaves, manuscripts in Sri Lanka during the Valagamba's time. But it's an oral transmission. Now we know that not only the Arahants did this work. There were unenlightened monks who have been taking care of it. Now say, for instance, I say one thing, then 10 people are transmitting what I said. Starting from me, and I say something to somebody here, and then she or he is going to transmit to 10 people. What do you think? Would you think that the 10th person will say the exact thing what I said? It's a very common sense. Definitely, there might have certain things come to these different texts, not overall. There might. We have a certain fair doubt about it. That's why we have to be very careful in understanding. So don't just believe. Oral transmission is good. There are a lot of things to learn, but don't merely believe anything just because it came to you by oral transmission. If somebody say, hey, you must believe what I say because this came down from my senior people. That's not nice. This is not the way we are understanding Dhamma. Don't go by lineage. Lineage means we are very respectable, lineage. I'm not going to mention anybody's name, not to disrespect anybody. We are from this particular, this country, this particular one. So it's very respectable. You must believe everything. Don't go by testament. I think we have to go to Pali one at the same time, just to understand a little bit. Ma paramparaya means lineage. Ma itikiraya. You can take it as a side text, line by line. Probably we're gonna those line by line. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so you can understand here. Don't go by testament. Itikiraya. Don't go by the Pitakas. Pitaka Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka. Just because they come from a Pitaka, don't just believe it. We believe, yes, we have a certain respect, but just because it comes from a Pitaka, don't just believe it. You have to investigate. Ma takka hetu. Don't rely on logic. Is logic always sensible? Then every court case must be solved with all the true facts. But it depends on sometimes it depends on the lawyer's ability. If the lawyer is not a good person, even you have a lot of evidences, you are not going to win the court case. Right? It depends on the logic. It's not always the truth. But we appreciate, now even when we listen to a Dhamma talk, if it is not logical, not making sense, we cannot understand it. We cannot accept the logic of that. But the problem is, logic should not be the only way to understand the truth. When we understand Dhamma, logic should not be the only way to understand the Dhamma. Logic is one way. Don't just depend on the logic only. Ma naya hetu. That means don't rely on inference. What is inference? Guesses, inference. People guess a lot of things. People guess a lot of things. Sometimes they are very wild guesses, sometimes educated guesses. But guessing is not always going to work out. It can help. Let's say you know somebody who's bad. You understand, this person will do the same bad thing again. Yeah, it might be, it might not be. But don't depend on the guessing only. Then, ma akara parivitakkena. Don't go by the recent train of thought. There are some people who are logically trained, who are very rationalized all the time. I would say, in a very simple example, when people are so much rationalized, they overthink a lot. They overthink. I think most of our day-to-day problems come from overthinking, right? Because they are thinking a lot. That means it's like eating food. If you eat less food, it's okay. Less eating, less thinking, better. Less thinking means everything is good. If thinking too much, then you are creating a scene, imagining a lot of things. Right? Our sanya problem. We are thinking a lot. Eat less, think less, better. If you are thinking too much, you are rationalizing, then you cannot live with other people. You have so many things to ask. Now just think about in our daily life, there are a lot of things that we don't have to pick up, even to think about it. But we pick up them, we make a problem in our household. Just think about it. There's normal things from your morning to evening. Then at the end of the day, you might think, if I had not picked up that particular thing, our household might have been more peaceful than, probably another day. Don't have to pick up. Let go. Why you have to pick up? If it is not important, that's why I always say Pachavekana, reflection, very important. Before picking up, think about this is important, my day should be more important than picking up this particular unnecessary, trashy, trivial thing. Sometimes we pick up how other people talk their words a lot. And the whole day is about that particular one word. And then you're going to attack that person and you're going to say everything what you feel about it. And then you end up with all the unpleasant experiences with that person. And then the next day is the day of that person, how you reacted to that person. He or she is carrying the next day. So don't have to pick up everything that is happening with other people. Just pick up only the important one. So this rationalization is important sometime, but not all the time. So don't just depend on rationalization. The Buddha said, if you rationalize the wrong things, you are creating more akusalas. That's the Abhidhamma thought. In Abhidhamma, they say, they talk about the thoughts, and they say, let's say you have lobha. You have lobha. You say you are very greedy about something. Just say you don't like to give things to other people. You always try to hoard. You don't give to other people. You have no reason. You are simply greedy, right? But there is someone out of these greedy people who thinks it is not important to give to other people. So this person rationalizes one's own greed in his or her own way. That is creating more akusalas. That creates more akusalas. Let's say someone is sexually misconducting A. The B sexually misconducting by rational. It's okay to do that. That creates more akusalas. But that also creates akusalas. Both are akusala. Let's say someone lies to other people. A lies to other people. B thinks lying is okay. What's the problem? I lie to survive. That creates more akusala. And let's take the fifth precept. Someone drinks alcohol. Let's say we understand the nature. But someone thinks drinking alcohol, no matter what, is okay. And I don't care about the limits, whatever. Rationalizing this alcoholic nature of the life. Right? So, the Buddha said, rationalization for certain things are important, but don't just depend on this rationalization to understand the Dhamma. Some people only rationalize the Dhamma. Their way of learning Dhamma is only rationalizing. That is not nice. And then, we understand here, Ma ditti nijjhana kantya means don't go by the acceptance of a view after deliberation. What is it? What is that? Deliberation. Sometimes these translations creating more complications. So we have to look at a couple other translations to look at what it is. By the acceptance of a view after pondering. Now this means that ditti nijjhana kantya. That means when you understand something, say for instance you understand something, that understanding can create a view inside of you. Just because that you accepted that particular view, don't keep following, accepting the rest of the new things. You may have made it as a view, but just because of that, be careful. It might work, it might not work. Always keep the window for you to check, check the new things. Some people, when they accept something, all the things they are going to accept, right? It's like checking a custom declaration. Are you bringing things and all that? Remember one monk went to Calgary long time ago. I normally share this story with some others actually. It's a true story. That means just because we like it, just because we accepted it, we have to understand that the rest of the things, how are we going to respond to the rest of the things? So what happened was that the arrival card, the custom declaration, he put yes to everything. Are you bringing vegetables, everything? He said yes. Are you bringing ammunition, explosives? He put yes. Gunpowder, yes. Are you bringing drugs, narcotics? He put yes. And the officer was like very shocked. He brought everything to the country, you know. And then they asked him a lot of questions, and they understood it was a mistake. And then they let him go after a couple of hours, checking everything. But then the monk, on the other hand, waiting to pick him up, was asking, how did you fill the application, arrival? He said, I put yes to everything. I put, why did you put yes? Yes is better than no. So the thing is that when you find out something is nice, good, acceptable, but don't keep the rest in the same way. Always keep it as a window to check and accept or decline it. And then, ma babbarupatai, don't go by the appearance of competence. When you sometimes keep watching, listening, following somebody, you might just be dragged by that person's external appearance. So always, it might be good, it might not be good. And then finally, ma samano garoti. Don't think that this teacher is this ascetic is our respected teacher, or that we have to unlimitedly accept the teacher. Let's say question, ask, investigate. Right? So this is how the Buddha said how to accept, how to understand the Dhamma. Now, a lot of people come to a misunderstanding here. What is that? We should discard Tipitaka, Pali teachings. We should discard all the generational teachings. So they are taking this negatively. What the Buddha said here was that all these are good, very good channels of learning Dhamma, but don't depend on one particular channel for that. Okay? Don't depend on one particular way of learning Dhamma. Learn Dhamma from all these aspects. Right? Because these are very good ways to learn Dhamma. So, then the Buddha said, then kalamas, so one day you will understand when you do like this is kusala, this is akusala, skillful, unskillful. That is the proper way of practicing Dhamma. But use all these things. If you don't understand this, I would give you another example. In another sutta, in the Udana Pali, Buddha explains a very interesting story about this in a different way. Buddha uttered a story where one king wanted to ask few blind people about the shape of an elephant. And then he brought a lot of blind people and asked, okay, touch the elephant and tell the shape of the elephant. So they touched different parts of the elephant and said the shape of the elephant. The person who touched, who touched the trunk of the elephant said it's like a winnowing fan. The person who touched, the blind person who touched the leg, one of the legs of the elephant said this is like a mortar. All the kitchen stuff. Huh? The person who touched the tail of the elephant said the elephant's shape is like a broom in the house. So different people said different things by touching the elephant. Then the king was not happy. I think he's the most unwise one in that incident. How does one blind person say the full shape of the elephant? But if you look at all the comments of blind people about the shape of the elephant, you can find out a certain structure of an elephant. Right? So in the same way, don't just go by one particular thing to learn Dhamma. So learn Dhamma from all these ways. Huh? Okay, so it's not a divine revelation. It's a personal investigation. Let me add you. It's a personal, investigate personally and learn from your Kalyana Mittas, learn from many teachers, not only one teacher. But then you will understand what makes most sense, right? That is how you are going to make it. And this sutta, Alagadupama Sutta, this is an interesting sutta. Now time to talk a lot of things about this sutta. This is the sutta everybody must learn before every sutta study. But we couldn't do it. The Buddha says, learning Dhamma is like catching a snake. You must be very scared now, huh? You are going to learn the Dhamma, you are on the way. But it's like catching a snake. Then the Buddha explains how does it work. The Buddha says, what if someone is going to catch a snake from its tail? The snake is going to attack. What if somebody who is going to catch a snake from the middle part of the body, same thing can happen. From the head, definitely the same thing will happen. Then the Buddha is giving an analogy from a gypsy, a snake catcher. How do? They use a professional stick and they're going to press down a certain part of the snake and properly dismantles and then the snake and then slowly, calmly take down the snake. Learning Dhamma is like that. How do we understand that? That means if you don't know how to learn Dhamma, don't learn it. Because Dhamma will bite you. I think you might misunderstand that part. If you don't properly understand the proper way to understand Dhamma, then you will learn in a wrong way. Then Alagatupama Sutta says, we need to learn Dhamma at the same time. One day, we need to unlearn the Dhamma also. Unlearn. Unlearn means? Unlearn. Like the Japanese Zen story. Remember one professor went to a sensei and then he said, Sensei, master, teach me Dhamma. He looked at him and he understood he has a lot to let go because he's too much bombarded with his knowledge. And then he said, okay, let me make a tea for you. He went to the kitchen, he made a very good tea. Now he brought the teacup and the jug. Now he's pouring into him. And now his tea is flowing over the cup. And he said, this is flowing over. Then the sensei told him, it is like your head now. Because you have too much knowledge. You cannot learn Dhamma. You have to unlearn unnecessary knowledge that you have. Sometimes we have filled our head with unnecessary things. Right? So those things have to be let go. So in the same way, Buddha says this way, Kullupamango bhikkave dhamman desisami. Monks, I would tell you, learning Dhamma is like crossing a certain watery place, a river or a lake. And he said, Nittaranattaya no gahanattaya. Don't pile up the Dhamma books all the time. Don't pile up Dhamma recordings. Just use it. But don't try to grasp them. It is like someone who is going on a journey, finds out suddenly there is a river. At that time, no GPS, right? He goes back to the forest, he makes a raft. And so with so many difficulties, he crosses the river. What if that person is to think, there was no raft, nobody to help me, I made it, now I have to carry it over my head. Does it make sense? Buddha said, no need. Because you just crossed it. Maybe you will bring it, but you don't need to bring it over your head. So Dhamma is like that. Dhammopi pahatabbu, pageva dhammo. You must unlearn even the Dhamma one day. That means when you learn it, don't try to make it as a weight. Sometimes when you see some people learning a lot of Dhamma, they can't even walk properly, Very heavy, something carrying. Why are you walking something? You can't walk fast, now. I know a lot of Dhamma now. They can't even walk now. See, 2 months ago you walked very lightly over there. You were a very free person. But now I cannot walk like that. because I know a lot of Dhamma. Right? So our life should not be heavy after learning Dhamma. It has to be more light, very free, liberal. If after listening to a Dhamma talk, anything, if your life become very heavy, that means that is creating you a lot of complications. Right? So you need to understand that. That's why Buddha said, Dhamma is for crossing the samsara, not to keep it as a knowledge. So, okay. First three Dhamma qualities, Swakato, number one, Sanditthiko, number two, Akaliko. We will make it very short because you can read this. Swakato means the Dhamma is masterfully expounded by the teacher, excellent in the beginning, middle and end. It's free from contradictions and interpolations, maintaining a steadfast and direct path. Now we understand certain part of Abhidhamma is not under this because it's after the Buddha's time. But early Buddhism, we understand everything is very consistent. You don't find contradictions. So the Dhamma is properly given in the beginning, even during the middle and the end. Actually, this is given closer to a Dhamma talk. Right? In the Dhamma talk, whatever the Dhamma thing Buddha talks about at the beginning and in the middle, at the end they are all consistent. They are not having changes. They are not having issues. No inconsistencies. Just as every drop of ocean, water shares the singular taste of soul. The Dhamma consistently embodies the one and only taste of Nibbana. So every time you say Swakato means consistency of the Dhamma matters. Consistent, they are not inconsistent here and there. That is Swakato, properly well expounded. What is being well expounded is the consistency of the Dhamma matters. Whatever it was taught with another concept, Patisamuppada, what was discussed in the Four Noble Truth, what was discussed in the Panchakanda, what was discussed in the Tilakkana, everything is consistent. Okay, Swakato. Then Sanditthiko, interesting. Sanditthiko conveys that when the Dhamma is thoroughly studied and sincerely practiced. Very interesting, huh? Thoroughly studied, sincerely practiced. What do you think about these two terms? Dhamma has to be practiced very sincerely. We don't need to brag about our Dhamma, we practice. We don't need to show off to others. It's my Dhamma, it's your Dhamma practice. If you show off, you are the one who is expiring in your Dhamma practice. You have to be very honest to us. Then only Dhamma flourishes in our life. We feel that Dhamma is really working in my personal life. I feel I am getting benefited. So, thoroughly studied, widely studied, and then sincerely practiced. And its beneficial effects become evident here and now. What's the example? For instance, even a bad person, a genuine curse to both oneself and society, can find refuge in the Buddha and Dhamma, leading to the end of his troubles and miseries. A striking example is Ashoka, after embracing Buddhism, transformed from the tyrannical ruler known as Chandashoka into just and compassionate Dhammashoka. Buddhism accepts everybody. There are no sinners. There are no bad people. Everybody is included. But some people are already good people. Some other people have to be good in the long run. Some other people have to learn a lot. But everybody is welcome in the Buddhist teachings. But in Malaysia, due to the government regulation, we put non-Muslims only. So it's just to safeguard, just respect the government regulations. But everybody is welcome, right? Respect. So that means everybody can become changed and feel the transformation. One person who told me long time ago in Canada was that, I like Buddhism because of the transformation. I can become a better person. That is the most important thing. Right? We can change us. We might not be able to change other people. We don't have to change other people. But I can become my own change. I can become my own change agent. I don't worry about other people. When I change myself, I can understand what are the changes that are happening with other people. So I can easily embrace life, easily embrace reality. So Sanditthiko means that you will see the benefits of the Dhamma here as a living proof. You don't have to wait for next life. Because monks are not supposed to do spiritual crimes, Spiritual crimes, say, if you do this thing in the next life, you go to the heaven and you get this and that. We are not supposed to do that. We are saying happiness or whatever the benefits are here. For the most part is here. Not that giving you expectations for the next life and creating spiritual crimes. So, giving a living proof here. Sanditthiko means everything about, especially the benefits about the Dhamma is here, not in the next life. If things are really going well, next life will be taken care by these good karmas. No need to worry about it. Final one, akaliko. Akaliko means that the beneficial effects of practicing Dhamma are immediate and not delayed. This is very interesting. Now in the Dhammapada, Buddha says that if you do a bad karma, the result of the bad karma chases after you just like the wheel of the cart follows the hoof of the ox. At that time, it was a very old example, because wherever the ox goes, wheels are also following. So that means if you do a bad karma, even in your thoughts, that will come after you. Your mother will not take care of it. Your father will not take care of it. It is you who is going to take care. So we understand that. I think people who go through pain is very visible. What about the good results? How did the Buddha explain that? Chayava anapayini. Chaya, it's like your shadow. Can we see our shadow all the time? No. The Buddha says the good karmas are come to us as a result, just like the shadow of our own shadow. We might not see it. But have you seen your personal life experiences this way? Sometimes, although we have all the causes and conditions, we need some good karmas which we have done in a past life. We have all the things, but we are not happy. Why is it? The Buddha said in the Mangala Sutta, Pubbecha kata punyata. You might see some people are more blessed than you. Why is it? That means we need to engage in more wholesome activities. Right? So, the benefits of practicing Dhamma, they are immediate, not delayed. But there are some good karmas or bad karmas, they might be delayed. What are those good karmas and bad karmas? Some good karmas are delayed. Why? Because you haven't done it in the proper way. You have given lots of dana with lots of expectations. Maybe your own personal akusala issues. You are doing good karma, but within your mindset, you are doing it differently. Right? Sometimes you are doing bad karmas. It might take time to process. But they are on the way one day to take effect. But other than that, benefits of practicing Dhamma are immediate. You will see it, you will feel it that things are benefiting you. Okay? So, Sanditthiko means, in short, without more explanations, that Dhamma is well expounded. That means consistent. Dhamma is consistent. There is no inconsistencies anywhere. If you see from this sutta, that sutta, they all are merged, same idea, different perspective. Then, Sanditthiko means the results of the Dhamma, they are evident now. They are evident now, not in the future life, not in the next life. Don't practice Dhamma for the next life. Practice Dhamma for this life, because that next life will be automatically taken care by that karma. Some people suffer in this life for the next life. Right? Why you suffer? You got it now. So just be happy and do good karmas for this life. Next life, next life, they all be well until you attain Nibbana. Sanditthiko. It's for now. It's not for the next life. Akaliko means they are immediate. Results of Dhamma, they are immediate. You will see the transformation that will happen. All right. Any questions today about these three qualities? Sanditthiko, Akaliko, Swakato, Sanditthiko, Akaliko. Any questions? There's the mic over here.
Bhante, I want to ask about the Dhamma. What about the Dhamma Anupassana?
Dhammanupassana.
Under which category?
Yeah. Dhammanupassana means the teaching actually. That means certain key concepts of Dhamma, like Panchakkhandha, Noble Eightfold Path, Bojjhangas. They are the context of the Dhammanupassana. I think she's asking one of the mindfulness practices in the Satipatthana Sutta. Satipatthana Sutta talks about 4 types of mindfulness practices. Dhammanupassana is one of them. That means mindfulness on mental Dhamma properties. Sometimes you may be mindful based on certain key concept of Buddhism. Let's say Panchanivarana. Let's take Panchanivarana. The Buddha said how to practice it. Do I have Kamachanda now? Or is my Kamachanda, sensual desire, going away slowly? Will I have Kamachanda in the future? So checking with yourself with certain Dhamma concept. So that Dhamma concept goes under the main interpretation, Dhamma, because it's about the teaching.
Hi Bhante, I'd like to ask the order, right? So number 10 says, if you still feel fear, you should recollect the Blessed One. That's number 10. And then number 11, which is what we're looking at today, it's if you still feel fear, etc., etc., you should recollect the Dhamma. May I ask why in that order? I mean, I know that maybe this is skipping ahead, but the next one it talks about then if this doesn't comfort you, then you should think about the Sangha next. Is there a particular reason why it was arranged this way?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I think that reason has been already explained. I'm going to explain again. Now the way how these three things, triple gem, have to be recollected was given depending on how some people's fears and all the negativities continue or stop. Let's say we have certain fears, mental negativities, problems, stress in our life. Then we can initially, the first point of reference is the Buddha's great qualities. By recollecting who is Arahang, who is Samma Sambuddha, who is Vijjacharana Sampanna, through that understanding, our fear should go away. Our mental stress should go away. But sometimes there are people who still having the stress, even after thinking about the Buddha's great qualities. It is not the problem of the Buddha's qualities. It's about their causes and conditions. So then they have to also go to the Dhamma's great qualities. They have to reflect upon Dhamma's great qualities as well. Not just Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Akaliko. What is Swakato? What is Sanditthiko? Why is Dhamma Akaliko? Why is Dhamma Swakato? They have to reflect. They have to understand why. Sometimes you will understand after we finish these 6 great qualities of the Dhamma. Still there are other people, still they are going through fears, mental problems, fears and all that. So they also have to think about Sangha's 9 great qualities too. So it is the order works in a way how different people go through their fears and how different people overcome their stress, fear, and all these negativities. It's not the problem of the triple gem, don't misunderstand that. It's the problem of their own causes and conditions. Some people are good to only think about Buddha's qualities. They are okay. Their fear will be taken away by that. Some people still have to go to Dhamma's great. Some people even have to go to the Sangha's qualities. Make sense?
Bhante, good evening.
Good
Bhante, for this, do always have to be the first one first? Like you say, for the qualities of the Buddha, then the Dharma and the Sangha. Is it you always have to start with the quality of the Buddha first?
Yes, because
You have to.
because at the point of the Buddha, if your fear goes away, you don't have to go to Dhamma.
Okay. But I thought
Right?
that this so high level, if it's still, the fear doesn't go away, you go to the second one, I don't think so it'll be effective, Because the strongest one is just like taking a medicine, The strongest one also still cannot cure, then you take a lighter drug. It may not, that's a logical thinking, which may not be correct, So I always thought that probably will be, you have to start from the bottom first, or the Sangha first, then you go to the Dharma, then only you go to the Buddha. If you go to the Buddha, you still got fear, I don't think so they will be of any help. Anyway,
No,
that is a logical thinking.
Yeah, let me tell you how we have to take it. We normally take Sangha separately. Actually, Buddha is part of Sangha.
Oh, okay.
But why he is separate here? Because Buddha is the one we call as the teacher, then the Dhamma and the Sangha. But when people have to reflect upon the Buddha, Buddha along with the Sangha. That's why it is said that don't just give dana to the Sangha members. Sangha members along with the Buddha. So that's why we have to go to the Sangha at the end if none of these previous two going to work for us.
Yeah. Now I understand. Because Sangha is, Buddha is part
Buddha
of
is
the
a part
Sangha.
of Sangha.
Even for dana, dana to a Sangha is of a better so-called higher merit than dana to a Buddha. Because
No, don't take it that way.
Does that mean that because earlier in the morning, on Sunday we have a Dhamma class, so we were talking about the different level of Sangha. So the definition, ordinary dana, then the dana of food, and then the temple and all. So apparently the hierarchy is that a dana to a Sangha.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain. Okay, that's a very interesting question. There is a sutta called Velama Sutta. Anguttara Nikayas 9.20. Lot of people misunderstand this sutta. Now this sutta says a certain order where people get lot of good karmas. But at the higher level of this sutta, Buddha says, let's go to the sutta. This is the highest level of our, dana activity. Yeah? It would be more fruitful to develop the perception of impermanence, anicca, even for as long as a finger snap, right? For this short moment, than to do all of these things, including developing a heart of metta, as long as it takes to pull a cow's udder. Okay, that means if you do metta meditation, you don't need to give dana. What a cheapening way of looking at dana is that. Now this was given from a certain specific context. That this means, this does not demean other dana activities. Now say for instance, you take the first one, giving food to animals is the first one. So then people will stop giving food to all the animals, only practice anicca and do metta meditation, then they think they are good. So this sutta was given in a way to understand that there are different dhanas you have to do at different times based on different causes and conditions. But if we take it, this is the highest, rest is all cheap stuff. That is not a nice way to look at it. So what we have to understand, we should never cheapen our dana activity, demean our dana activity. Make every opportunity a dana time. If it is a dog, just feed the dog. It's a cat, just feed the cat. You find the monks, feed them. Do we know they are sotapannas? Do we know they are anagamis? We don't know any of those things. Just feed them. Maybe they are Buddhas, Pacheka Buddhas. We never know. So we are creating opportunities for being generous. Let me tell you finally. The Buddha said when Pajapati Gautami offered a robe, don't offer to me, give it to the Sangha members. When you give to Sangha members, I am also part of that Sangha fellowship. So I think then we don't have to separate Sangha, but here what we understanding, reflecting on the Sangha has Buddha also, but Buddha alone is sometimes not powerful for some people to overcome their problems. So Sangha with the Buddha and Dhamma. Because when you go to Sangha, then Buddha and Dhamma are already with you. Right? You are more powerful at that point. Then you are having Sangha too. Yeah, start with the Buddha, then Dhamma. Some people are more blessed, they don't have to go to that way. But finally, some people have to go. All right, I think with that, we are going to wrap this up from this point. We are going to share all the good karmas at this point. May all the good karmas that we've been doing today be transferred to all the departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Iminati samichatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With that, wishing you a good night. Safe journey back home. I'll be seeing you, most of you probably in the retreat next coming up weekend for the retreat about bad karma, how to clear the bad karma. Good night, everyone.